Hi, good evening. I'm Anna Olsen here in Insights into Consciousness on A1R Radio. Tonight, I am going to do one reading, and before then, I wanted to go into something that I've actually never done before. So this is new to me, and it's going to be new to you, I'm supposing. It's my first time ever really having anything like this happen, because I always prep for my show. And this time when I prepped for my show, I got that I was going to have a message come through. And I wasn't really sure what that meant, but when I just started some writing, it's basically scrying, and as I wrote, I got messages. So this would be clairaudience. When we get something auditorily, spiritually with the message, and we are, it's not really hearing like I would hear something with my physical ears. It's more or less a auditory message through the spiritual listening. So that's basically similar to when we have when we're seeing something in our mind's eye, and it's not like seeing something with your physical eyes. It's like it's seeing it in your mind as if you were having let's say a memory, or you're imagining something, but it's very different from an imagining something, because to create and imagine, it has to take work, and it has to take us creating, and it's much more exhausting than seeing and experiencing, since that's more like seeing a movie. So I am going to just explain, first of all, what it was that I got. I was basically meditating and thinking, okay, so what show and what exactly do I need to do tonight? I just started getting I'm guessing a spirit. Maybe I was connected to the angel realm, and I got a whole bunch of information, and I'm going to try to get through it, because I wrote it down as I was listening to it. So this is also kind of called scrying, or just writing down messages that you receive. And a lot of people are using the word download. It's kind of like downloading spiritually something that you get from spirit, or messages that you get from spirit. And we don't always have all the answers or everything that we need, because we're imperfect humans, and we're not, we're still learning and growing. And so I got this message today, May 22nd, 2019. So it's very different. I had to look up some of the stuff that I was being told, because I didn't even really know what it meant or what in the world it entailed. So I'll just start reading what I wrote tonight. From Mesopotamia, many moons ago, we came from a realm of Aquarius. The ignition of love arose from the ash of a people so distraught that the only way to go was up. Now we populate the world in a way known to man as the star, or the stars. The stars are just a label which indicates the polar spectrum of abilities humans may have, and does not depict the definition of a star as the world may perceive a celebrity. Stars are people who originally populated the areas closest to the governing stars of the universe, but clusters of the stars, known in the universal languages as pupils, which are students of the galaxy. These stars in space possess intelligence not known to man at this time. The sun is one honored governing star of the earth. It is known to give life to the planet and to keep its safe distance and its shielding of safety in its place in the solar system. It must possess a type of inherent intelligence. This was getting really interesting. This intelligence is a type of ability when people have claircognizance. This is the commonplace knowing, or otherwise a typical balance of knowledge which keeps it automatically at a place of assignment, just the right distance away at just the right position in the universe to keep all things well and happy. The star people on the earth also keep things quote unquote, well and happy inherently with instinct from star and knowing by claircognizance and being able with rays emanating outward from them, such as the sun, to grab information from their surroundings so as to adjust to the needs of their surroundings. These star people from old also can be significant healers of light, such as yourself, meaning me specifically. I didn't even know it was like of the stars. I honestly still am just kind of trying to figure this out and learn from this. So, such as yourself, or people of significant, it says actually, people of significant harm and damage depending upon their choices and intention. So you can either be a healer such as me, my intentions are always good, so, or people of significant harm and damage depending upon their choices and intentions, either programmed since birth from their surroundings or their nature from the tribe spiritually from which they originated. So basically that was just saying that there are people who originated from a certain people originating in Mesopotamia that were people of the stars or the star people. This is something I've only heard of once through a conversation that I had with somebody, and I just sort of shrugged it off. It sounded a little strange to me because I just didn't know anything about it. And now all of a sudden today I had this big message come through. So it's basically saying that there are people from this originating star tribe or culture who are good, and they're healers, and they use their abilities that they have received from stars, the star origin in Mesopotamia, for good. And there are others, though, that are raised from birth with some pretty bad habits or some, I guess a bad environment where they learn to do it, to use these for bad and to harm, or just to only think about themselves instead of bettering the earth and the people in it. So the next part that I got is, Dear healers, as a reveal of one of the mysteries of our worlds, the most dangerous and unempathetic of your kind, sociopaths are these star children. They must be seeked out before they have such programming as the school shooters, the murderers, the users, the criminals, the politicians whom use for gain of universal power. Their resistance and ongoing power is continuing to rise in strength, and they are rising in originally trusted churches, spiritual groups, and places of worship. They are taking over places that have large populaces of children, such as schools, church groups, or any large numbered organization that teach or care for children of uninvolved parents and families. They use medical means and government agencies to damage, inflict harm, and programming of children from a young age. If these groups of children aren't caught early on and taught in high number the ways to simply and effectively combat and prevent the influence of these lost souls, the dark and harmful powers will succeed in taking over for monetary and personal needs of only themselves, their culture. So the culture of the stars will then be lost, as will be healing and free will worldwide. I am finished and wish luck to all who were called to listen. So that's basically what I got tonight. This was something that I didn't even expect, and that's the beauty of the work that I've been called to do, is that sometimes I don't even really understand why I'm getting the message or where it's going to go, but I do my best to just trust it. And every time I trust it, and every time I just go through with it and relay the message, it turns out for good. And so that's why no matter how it comes across or how it may seem right now, I just go ahead and give out the message. I let people know what I got. I trust it. I trust spirit. And I trust that because I'm on the right frequency, that I will be able to spread knowledge and good, and whatever message it is that I need to convey, I will do it in, just in protection of people and to spread light and love. So that was my intention in sharing that tonight. I just do basically what they tell me to do a lot of the time, and I'm just coming along for the ride. And this was one of those times. So I'm going to reread it a few times. I did look up Mesopotamia and the history of Mesopotamia just because I had really not even heard about Mesopotamia for many years. I think that I went over it in history in maybe, probably high school for maybe a day, and I didn't really know much about it. So I I learned a lot about Mesopotamia, like it was the first place they actually found evidence of the first wheel made of leathers, and that it's where they originated a lot of learnings and teachings, where women were held at a high, level of respect. That they were a very, very prominent environment for wisdom, for learning, for the arts, for many new inventions. They thrived, and many of the things that we use today in the modern world originated from Mesopotamia. There's a lot more that, I could go into. I have no idea what Aquarius is about, and that they're of Aquarius. If anybody knows, let me know. You can contact me on my website. You can just email me on there, because I am still processing it, and I pretty much just got it a few minutes ago. So today I wanted to take a caller, and I'm going to try to switch gears here and just focus on a reading. So I'm guessing that we can go into that here pretty soon. But again, if anybody's listening to this message and they hear it and they want to elaborate it all on the message that I conveyed, and that if they have any information on it, I'd love to hear about it. I always love to hear from people who are listening. My website is AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com. That's ANNAOLSEN Intuitive.com. And you can go to the area where you can just email me, and I'd love to hear from you. So that's basically what I got tonight. I did not know that the stars have an inherent ability to take in information around them and adjust accordingly to where they are in space or the solar system at that time. This is all news to me, and I'm still going to definitely research what I got in the message and figure out what facts can align with that scientifically, because that's my passion, is to, prove this stuff scientifically, or in other ways that, from the experiences of others. So I'm definitely going to be going into that. And I'm guessing that, as I go along, I'm going to get more and more of these quote unquote downloads, and just be able to process them and prove, their originality and their accuracy, and exactly why I got them. So as I go on, I'm going to do more of these and just figure out what it means. Put in a history behind it. Maybe next week I can also share what I got with history and everything else that goes along with this message. So I'm just thinking that probably we're going to end up getting a lot more of these wonderful messages from Spirit as we go on. So I have Satania, excuse me, on the phone, and I'm going to do a reading for you tonight. How are you?
Good, thank you. And yourself?
Just fine. How can I help you tonight?
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to know, or I wanted guidance to see if I'm on the right track and I've been making the right decisions lately.
Okay. So the right decisions lately. I'm seeing some big things. I'm basically seeing a house. Is that something that you're considering?
Sorry, what was that?
I'm seeing a house. Is that something you've been considering?
I have.
Okay. So are you thinking about buying a house or moving to another house?
Maybe.
Okay. So I really feel like that's a good move in the right direction for you to have the house. I can see the house, and it feels really exciting to me.
Oh, way.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that it's going to be really good. It's going to definitely be a new challenge. It's just, anything new is going to be a little uncomfortable at first. That's all well and good. I see a path going to the front door, which means, and it's golden. And what that represents from spirit is that this is going to be a new opportunity, actually, that will bring in more income for you. Does that make sense the way I explained it?
Yes, that would be good.
Okay. And is it something that, is this a move that will increase your income? Is there like a new job around this house, or what is that about?
I'm looking for a new job.
Okay, so you would be moving with a new job. See, I see like the excitement of life.
Job, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing that the increase in excitement, happiness, and fulfillment will increase in this new residence.
Yeah,
I just see some new challenges. You know, it's just like anything else. Even though it's good, it's a change, and it can be a little bit uncomfortable at first. So it's just about adjusting, and it'll be a little bit of work at first until you just sort of settle in.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it looks like a really good move, and I'm wondering if there's something else within this move or this job that you wanted to know about or go over tonight.
No, I've just made some decisions lately, and some of them have been really big ones, and I've been second guessing myself as to whether there's been the right decision. I just was hoping that someone could reassure me that I've been making the right decision.
Right. And yeah, I see that it's the right decision, and it's going to increase your quality of life. And I really see that you're going to go in the right direction, taking this job and making this move. I keep getting a little nudge about love life. Is there something going on there that you'd like to go over tonight?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. What is it that you would like to focus on with love?
My dad and I have ended a relationship after 13 years, and I've just been confused on whether I made that right decision or not.
Okay. So this is where, it gets a little tricky in readings for me anyway, because I believe that everybody needs to make their own choices in their own relationships. I do feel like right now that was the best choice for you and for your situation. I know that you were a little worried because you're so comfortable with this relationship. I know you're a little worried that it would be like, oh gosh, I just totally made the wrong move at the wrong time with this. But I really do feel that ultimately this is going to be better for everybody involved, because you need to move on to do more emotional work with somebody who can be a better teacher.
Awesome.
And I do see someone else in your pretty near future. I'd say, I know you'll need some time because it's such a huge adjustment when you've been in a long-term relationship, to move into another one. But I feel like it was very responsible of you to end this one first rather than going into another relationship having not ended it yet. That was very responsible of you. I feel like you had an opportunity to go ahead and move forward that way, and you chose not to, which I really commend you for.
Awesome.
And I feel like, that's a really smart move. That's showing that you have good judgment. And I don't want you to think that things are going to be the way they were when you first met this last guy. Because when you first met the last guy, you were younger, you were less experienced. And now, I know it feels scary to be on your own, but you're so much, I don't think you realize how much more mature you are, how much better judgment you have now that you've, just become more wise just from life and learning from things. Is good that you can learn from your experiences, because not everybody does all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of wondering, I'm kind of getting that you kind of had a little bit of a broken heart with this.
Yeah, I did.
And, I just want you to know.
It was unfaithful.
Go ahead.
Quite a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I still tried to make it work and tried to do the right thing, and it wasn't enough.
Right. And that's why I feel like for you, this is a really good move, because that would have just kept happening. And then you really were in this situation where you had to say, okay, I'm basically now putting myself in an open relationship, because you knew, what was happening, and you knew what was going to go on, and that there wasn't any real changing going on. So, I feel like that taught you a lot, but that was just something that you're going to need to heal from. And what I see that's very promising is that once you make this move and you get this new job, part of the increase in your life and the increase in abundance is also going to be healing for you emotionally. And once you really start that healing process, because I'm seeing your heart chakra area, your heart, it's already so full of love. And I feel like you already have so much support. Even just from yourself. I
do try to put others first and put the needs of others before mine, especially, having so many children as well.
Right. Yeah, and I was kind of feeling the children.
Make sure that everybody else is happy, because if everybody else is happy, then I'm happy.
Right. And so now what's going to happen more and more is that because you're not going to be so exhausted from that relationship, you're going to be able to put more time into taking care of yourself and everybody else. So the more that you take care of yourself, the more that's going to make you capable of taking care of your children. And then you're going to get even closer friendships. You're going to get new friendships. You're going to start moving into a really great new place. And this is the kicker. This is the part that I really like to focus on, is when you move on from something that painful, you now will appreciate all of the good in somebody, because it won't feel like that anymore. And you'll appreciate it so much more than somebody who would just kind of take that for granted.
Yep.
And in addition, what's really great is your kids will see that you're kind of a new person, and you're going to blossom in a lot of ways, because you are going to appreciate this new way of life, and you're going to appreciate a guy or a man who's really honoring and respecting you, because the other side, the flip side to this new way of being is going to be that you'll never put up with that kind of behavior again, because you will want to feel so far away from it that it will just disgust you the minute you see a sign of it, because it was so hard. Yeah. So I really I'm just commending you for like all of this that you've learned, and you're going to be a different person. You're not going to be as naive. Don't worry. This next relationship, you're going to have better judgment, because you will have gone through all this, and you'll be able to spot it a mile away, so you won't do it again. And in addition, you will also appreciate that guy even more than anybody he's been with. So it'll be a really great connection and union, and you'll be with him for the remainder of your life.
Yay. That's good.
So it all looks really good.
Yeah. And when you said that, being a changed person, I have been really almost 12 months because of my dad. And like nearly 12 months ago now, and that was a huge shock. So, and I also lost my baby on the same day, so it changed who I was and how I look at things and all the rest of it. And I'm not the person that I was 12 months ago, and I would like to think that it was all for the better, but then and then my real dad stepped in about a month after my other father passed away. And so that was really, really good. And that made me happy as much as I still miss my dad as well.
Right. Well, the other thing I'm seeing is the lotus flower. The lotus flower grows from the mud, and so I keep seeing this beautiful lotus flower coming out of the mud and the water. That all these things that were negative and difficult is you're going to grow up out of that. And what I see is that blossom of the lotus flower above the surface of the water is your enlightenment. So that blossom of the lotus flower is the enlightenment of the plant coming out of the murky water. And I'm seeing your pain basically giving birth to this amazing enlightened state. You are different. And what I really want to focus on is that this difference is enlightenment. It is not damaged. It is not lesser than. It is not used up. It is enlightened, wiser, kinder, more empathetic. These are all of the things that you gained from these experiences. And there's nothing that you could ever say to somebody about, like, let's say, losing a baby, that will help them, that will actually make them understand that pain other than experiencing it. So your empathy has just grown, like it's made you this goddess. I mean, you're like this enlightened person who has become a healer and somebody who loves and loves more deeply because of these things. It isn't that you've been damaged. The pain is just, it's birthing all these amazing things in you. And that's what I really hope that you can focus on. I don't want those dark moments to bring you to this place where you're thinking that you've been through these things and therefore you're damaged. You've been through these things and therefore you're better for it. Yeah. Because you got through it and you rose above.
Okay.
So that's what I'd like to focus on for you. And I'd love for you to just remember that whenever feel your confidence is wavering or whenever your confidence is low, that you're going to go back to this place where you understand that, no, you're better now. You're more enlightened. You're more full of empathy and love because of these things. I do have to go. I wish that I could talk to you longer. But thank you so much for calling in. Yeah, and you can always let me know how you're doing. I'd love to see how you're doing. Email me on my website has my email, and with that a contact sheet if you'd like to let me know how you're doing. It's AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com. So I'd love to hear from you.
Well, I will do that.
Okay, have a good night. Thanks so much for calling. So that's all for me tonight. I am so grateful that you've watched, and I hope that this message that's conveyed tonight will help many, many people. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week on Thursday, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time and 9:30 Eastern Standard Time here on A1R. I'm Anna Olsen with Insights into Consciousness. I will see you later.